Welcome to a better world. Today we are diving deep into something that, let's be honest, affects pretty much all of us. That feeling of modern stress. That constant hum of anxiety that just leaves us feeling totally overwhelmed and, a bit disconnected. I mean, does this sound like you? Feeling totally stretched thin, always on edge, or maybe just lost? Like you're stuck on a treadmill and someone just keeps cranking up the speed. Well, if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. You are not broken. What you are feeling is not some kind of personal failure. Nope. It is a perfectly normal human response to a world that has become, in so many ways, pretty abnormal. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to tap into the wisdom of some incredible experts to really get to the bottom of why we're all stressed out. And more importantly, we'll look at some really powerful, practical strategies to help us find our way back to calm. Okay, let's start with this absolute game changer of an idea from Dr. Gabor Mate. He completely reframes how we think about trauma. It's not just about the big, obvious, terrible events. No, the real trauma is the wound that forms inside of us. It's how we change on the inside because of what happened on the outside. And that idea leads us directly to the first major driver of our modern stress, the wounds from our childhood. The kind of wounds we often carry around without even knowing they're there. See, Dr. Mate points out that what a kid really needs is pretty simple. They need to feel safe, they need to feel seen, and they need to feel connected. And when those emotional needs aren't met, and this isn't about blaming parents, it's often just about stressed, busy parents, a little wound gets created. The child basically learns, okay, to be loved, I have to hide or suppress certain parts of myself. So how does that show up when we're adults? Well, it probably looks pretty familiar. It's that voice in your head that says you're not good enough. It's that deep, deep need to be a people pleaser, always putting everyone else first. It's that feeling in your gut when you know you should say no, but you just can't because you're terrified of being rejected. These aren't character flaws, you guys. They're survival strategies that we learned when we were little. So here's the big question, right? If these old unconscious patterns are secretly running our lives, what on earth do we do about it? How do we actually start to heal those wounds? Well, the answer isn't about blaming anyone or beating ourselves up. It's about turning inward with this really powerful tool called compassionate self-inquiry. It's basically about becoming a detective of your own feelings, but a really kind one. And the process itself is so simple but so profound. Step 1, just notice the feeling. There's that anxiety again. No judgment, just noticing. Step 2, ask why. Not like, why are you like this? But with real curiosity. I wonder why I'm so scared to say no in this situation. And then step 3, and this is everything. You offer yourself the support you didn't get back then. You essentially become the compassionate parent you always needed. But of course, our internal stuff doesn't just happen in a bubble. It's constantly being poked and prodded by our second big driver, a culture that is, in a lot of ways, pretty toxic to our mental health. Dr. Mate makes this incredible point that our society values things that are actually against our basic human needs. We're told to be aggressive individuals, to compete constantly. And what does that lead to? Deep loneliness and isolation. We get rewarded for always doing, for being productive, but we've completely forgotten how to just be. Now this creates a huge problem, doesn't it? If the world around us is literally set up to reward us for ignoring our true feelings and our deepest needs, how in the world are we supposed to fight back against that? The antidote, the strategy here, is one powerful and, kind of scary word: authenticity. It's just a simple, radical act of honoring what's true for you, even if it goes against what everyone else is doing. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. That old wound makes us say yes when every part of us is screaming no. Authenticity is learning that saying no to someone else is actually saying yes to yourself. It's about stopping the performance, being honest even when it's hard, and finding that sense of worth inside yourself, not from likes or praise. That's the real work. Oh, okay. So we've looked at our past, we've looked at our culture. Now let's zoom in even further, right into the hardware that runs the whole show, our brain. Thanks to Mo Gadwat, an engineer who reverse-engineered happiness, we can find a third driver of our stress, and a brilliant strategy to fix it. So first things first, we have to accept a basic biological fact. Your brain's number one job is not to make you happy. Its job is to keep you alive. And that means it is hardwired to scan the environment for threats, for problems, for everything that could go wrong. It's called the negativity bias. I mean, think about your day. You could have 100 good things happen, but what's the one thing you're still thinking about at night? That one weird comment from your boss, right? This chart shows it all. Reality could be 90% good, but our brain gives 90% of its airtime to the 10% that's bad. And this leads to Mogada's amazing equation. He says happiness is our factory setting. It's our default state, like a perfectly clear blue sky. Unhappiness, well, those are just the clouds that float in. So we don't have to create happiness, we just have to stop doing the things that block it. This right here is so important. Life is going to have pain. That's a given. We lose things, we get disappointed, we get hurt. But suffering is different. Suffering is the story your brain tells you about the pain. It's choosing to hit rewind and play that painful moment on a loop in your head. So, how do we stop the suffering? Gada gives us this simple 4-step process. First, just see the thought. Don't get caught up in it, just observe it. Second, and this is a total game changer, remember that the voice in your head is not you. It's a thought-generating machine. Third, challenge it. Ask it, hey, is that thought 100% absolutely true? And finally, just decide to let it go. Stop feeding the story. So as we wrap this up, I think the most important takeaway is that healing isn't about arriving at some perfect place where you never feel stressed again. It's a practice. It's a kind, continuous process of just coming back home to yourself over and over and over again. And that brings us to one last question for you to take with you. Thinking about that power of authenticity, what if one small, totally doable no you can say this week? A no to something that drains you so that you can say a much, much bigger and more important yes to your own peace and well-being. Thanks so much for joining me, and remember that a better world is possible.